Christmas time. It makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside and so nostalgic. Now, I don't remember too many Christmases from the 70s. Oh, but the 80s, I remember them all. Because Christmas in the 80s were just plain better. Oh, 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 oh. Hey guys, hey, welcome to Mondays with Mark. I'm Mark, and this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Of course it is, right? Welcome or welcome back. Oh, yes, and welcome to, well, I guess a special edition of Mondays with Mark, really, because it's Christmas Eve, and Christmas Eve falls on a Tuesday this year, so, well, here we are, and I couldn't think of a better way to spend Christmas Eve with you. Take a trip back in time to the 80s, y'all. Oh, yes. Oh, now, if you were around in the 80s, well, you know just how rad Christmas time was. And, well, if you weren't around in the 80s, well, you have our apologies. Definitely. I mean, Christmas time in the 80s, it had enough magic to light the eyes up of any Gen Xer for real. I mean, like, totally, right? Definitely. Christmas was just better in the 80s. Okay, in my opinion, anyway. Oh, it was a time when we opened up our Rubik's Cubes. Oh, yes, our Rubik's Cubes and our Cabbage Patch dolls, all while listening to Christmas in Hollis, right? And today, oh, we have a couple recipes to do. We even have a couple DIYs to do too. But you know what? First, oh yes, we gotta get caught up. So you know what? I'm gonna meet you over on the couch for a little chit chat. Come on. That's better. How you doing? No, seriously, how are you doing anyway? Oh, it's so great to see you. It really is. And it's really, really nice to spend Christmas Eve with you. It is. And Steve will be making a little appearance later too, And, but I hope you're happy and healthy. And I really hope you're enjoying the holiday season, this year and not getting too caught up in all that, the stress of it. I, surprisingly am doing well. I'm not stressed out about it anymore. It is what it is. What gets done, gets done. What doesn't. There's always next year too, right? And there's that little thing called Christmas in July we do too. But anyway, yeah, I do. I hope that you're all ready for Christmas. My gosh, I just can't believe that Christmas is tomorrow. This year, wow, it's just a blur, isn't it? And even this holiday season went so fast, and I'm still kind of bummed that I got kind of sick, after Thanksgiving and the first week and a half or so of December, because it just pushed everything back, and then we had the car issue, I mean, usually on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, one or the other, we usually do the neighborhood lights, but we couldn't do it this year. We didn't have a vehicle to go around and do it, and so we'll do that in between that week in between Christmas and New Year's. I do like that week because you still get to celebrate the holidays, but all with that anticipation of the new year coming up. Oh yes, and we'll be with you either tomorrow or Thursday because we have some mail to open. We definitely have some mail to open, and we're gonna have a little surprise from Santa himself too. So I'm not sure if it'll be tomorrow. We're just gonna play it by ear because we're not sure if we're going out somewhere for Christmas or if we're gonna have visitors in or not. We're not sure exactly what's happening, but definitely by Thursday for sure. And we'll continue our holiday fun all the way up until the 31st when we ring in the 2025. 2025. What happened in 1989? That's what I want to know. That's what this video is all about. Because Christmas was just better in the 80s. It was. And you know what? We do have a lot to get to. We do. So, I think We should start right now. Oh, there is no question about it. Buying all of your presents for your entire family and all of your friends on Amazon has certainly made Christmas shopping a little more convenient. But it's hard not to get nostalgic. One thing, and that was going to the mall in the 80s. And if anything defines the 80s, it's going to the mall, right? I mean, it was an event. It was a social event, and malls were bustling all year round, but especially during the holiday season. And if you were a kid in the 80s, oh yeah, you waited all year long for two special catalogs. Oh yeah, those catalogs. One, oh yeah, the Sears Wish Book. Oh, I love that one. And the Kids Are Us Dream Book. Oh, you would sit for hours flipping through the pages and circling everything you wanted and folding down the corners, Oh, yes. And you know what? Even if you didn't get many or anything that you circled in those catalogs, oh, the sheer joy of just flipping through those catalogs, it was kind of like a little gift in itself. It really, really was. And you know what? Speaking of gifts, now, every year we do our cookie gift platter, and I promised I would show you the platter this year, and I think this would be just a great time to do that. What do you think? Okay, let's do it. Oh, yes, I'm super excited to share with you this year's cookie platter, and it's really easy this year and inexpensive. We've made some pretty intricate ones in the past. Remember that year we made all of our platters completely covered with halves of wine corks? Yeah, that was fun. Try making 20 of those. They looked really great, but oh my goodness, this year's much easier. So I got these plates at the Dollar Tree. I went with the snowflake theme because that's kind of like, our theme this year, snowflakes on everything. And so we got a plate, and we got the matching bowl to it too. And what we're going to do is we are going to turn our plate upside down like that. Yeah, here, there you go. And then we're going to attach our bowl also upside down to the center of our plate. Now, to do that, we're going to need some permanent glue. So, Gorilla Glue is good. E6000 is fantastic. Any professional strength permanent clear glue will work just well. Now, I'm sure you could use white if you're having a white plate as well, So what we're going to do here is we are going to take our permanent glue and we're going to line this little lip on the bottom of our bowl here. And you want to do a pretty hefty amount there. This will dry clear if it spreads out a little bit, but you want to have enough so that it bonds and cures, so it gives a solid hold to it, and definitely don't use any other type of glue. So now that we have it like that, see how it'll stay there. Now we're going to bring our plate here, and it also has a lip, and we're going to put this upside down, centered, so you can get right above it, and look, drop it down. Let's see, are we centered? Maybe this way just a little. Okay, we are good. Give that a good pushing down there, and then stack something, maybe heavy on it, like maybe the rest of your bowls. You could put those on there, or a canned good or something, and let her dry. And I wouldn't touch it or try to, move it around or anything for like at least an hour. But really, to get a true hold on that, you're going to wait about 24 hours to let it cure and bond there. Okay, and then before you know it, you will have a platter. And you know what's really cool about these? Here, wait, let me set this down. Move this out of the way. This one isn't fully cured yet, so I'm holding it together because it's not fully, you can turn this upside down and center him again. Okay. And this could be like a dip bowl, I mean, you could use this as a dip. Here we go. I better put something heavy on there. I shouldn't have touched it. See, that's what I mean. Let it go for at least an hour before you touch it. But anyway, he's back on there, so we're good. So yeah, that means a nice little chip bowl or a dip bowl, something like that. And I don't know. Oh, you know what? Speaking of dips, you know what? We do put a lot of, our cookie gift platters. We add different things to it other than cookies. And one of them is this year's ornament. And check this out. Do you remember we made our little boho ghost during Spooky Steve and Mark? Well, I just hot glued a Santa hat, a little mini Santa hat to the top. You can make that out of felt, or you can just buy them pre-made over on Amazon or at a craft store. And then on the back, y'all, oh, I put a little poem, and it's a Christmas ghost story on the back. I think this is absolutely adorable for a Christmas ornament this year. And here is that. Here's what's on the back of it. I know you can't read that. So, and that's our ornament for this year. And I also put the date on the back as well. You know, speaking of dips and that, we're also going to add, y'all, this is my new favorite seasoning, red onion powder. Oh, this stuff is so good. And I just got a muffin cup there, a Christmas muffin cup, like the hard ones. I put it in a cellophane bag and sealed it up real good. And we have a little label on there that says what it is and what you can use it for. You can use it for French onion dip. Oh, it's so good. And, in soups and stews. Oh, it is so good. And you know what? Steve is going to come in and show us how to make it too.
Hello everyone and happy Christmas Eve. So I'm going to show you now something we're going to add into the platters that are going to be going out. I'm going to make some homemade red onion powder. Good stuff. So if you have a food dehydrator, this will go pretty seamlessly for you. You can also do what we're going to do in an oven. To make red onion powder, you need a red onion. So the thinner you cut the onion, the faster it's going to dry. So for the food dehydrator, you need, half an inch thick. For example, you want them thin. Onions are thin anyway, you just want them thin enough that they'll dry. So we're using our food dehydrator. I have a Nesco. So the Nesco uses hot air. So this one is going to come up to about, let's see, load them on, go for the single layer. They can overlap a tiny bit. Like I said, they're thin. Let's say we were doing that. Let's say that's our batch. Now I was doing a lot more before. But we'll just do this little bit here. So we'll put our lid on, and that goes. Now I'm going to be drying them at 135. That's what I usually have for fruits and veggies. I just read what's on the thing here. If you want to do them in the oven, you can do them in the oven, but be careful. Throw them on some, cut them thin. Like I said, thinner the faster. Put them on some parchment, put them in the oven, set it like as low as it'll go. More than the pilot light, but less than on, because you don't want to caramelize. You want it to dry. So you can do that. That'll take 12 to 36 hours. This also takes 12 to 36 hours. And then when we come back, we'll have crispy onions, which we could turn into onion powder. And voila! It's about 36 hours later for me. Now you're going to see I cut those pieces in there. It's like, shouldn't I cut those smaller? They come out, and what you want is crispy. You don't want rubbery, none of it, just crispy. So now that we have those, and again, this is probably about 3 onions worth or so, we're going to get out our magic bullet. I'm hoping you have a magic bullet. If you don't, any other sort of device would suffice. And we're going to take it down to powder, like you'd buy onion powder. So we'll just feed it in batches. It kind of gives you that smell of like French onion soup, like from the package. There's a little bit of caramelization goes on, but it's not like caramelized onions. You can make dry caramelized onions. So once it's filled onto the thing. All right. So, like I showed you, we were just doing a little itty bit. This is the mother jar that we have. And for that little handful of onions I threw in, we're talking about little amount. So, dump those in. This master jar is fine because they've all been done like together within the last 6 months or so. You wouldn't want to throw ones from like this year in with last year. But that's it. That's it. As soon as it's ground, it's good to go. So you can use this anywhere that you would usually use onion powder. It's great with soups, stews, anything with an umami thing, beef soup, pot roast, all that good stuff. So definitely give it a try. It's a great way to take up bulk used onions as well, especially if you have a food dehydrating fetish. So do enjoy.
Oh, and speaking of sweet holiday treats, oh yeah, Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes hail from the 80s. They first hit store shelves in 1985, and we immediately snatched them all up. Oh, I know I did. And, you can still get them today as well. We still do. And so if you still do, maybe now it'll give you a little nostalgic feeling for the 80s. Oh, yeah. And you know what, too? cooking and baking in the 80s was all about like convenience, hack recipes, easy speed, and you know what? I just happen to have a fantastic recipe for you. Let's go make these. Oh, yes, we do. Oh, this recipe is so delicious and so easy to make, too. It's actually kind of fun to make. Today, we are going to make some peanut butter, butterscotch, confetti squares. Oh, my gosh, they are to die for. So let's get started, okay? And we will need 1 cup of creamy peanut butter there. And then we have a half a cup of unsalted butter. And this is, about 1/4 to 1/3 cup of rainbow sprinkles. And in here, we have about 3 cups of mini marshmallows. Now, over here now, I have a double boiler set up there. And inside there, I have 2 standard packages. Now, that would be 10.5 ounces to 11 ounces, depending on the brand you get. And those are butterscotch chips. Oh, yes. And we have a little simmer going on in our double boiler there. And yes, they are starting to melt. Cool. Oh, yes. Okay. So when they're like this, we're going to add, well, pretty much the rest of our ingredients. That would be our peanut butter. Oh my gosh, butterscotch and peanut butter. I mean, can you go wrong at all? Also going to add our butter. Oh, yes. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to leave that over a simmer, and we're going to continue to stir that every so often until everything is nice and melted and we have a smooth consistency. Okay, so we are all nice and smooth here and ready to go. I removed her from the heat, and now we're going to stir in our marshmallows. Oh, yes, now you can use as many or as little as you want. I generally use about 3 cups for this recipe, and this recipe is going to give you enough to fill 2 8-inch round pans. You could always cut it in half if you want to just do 1 8-inch. Oh, I'm sorry, not round, square. We're using square for this. You can tell I've been baking all weekend. Okay, so we got that, and when they're just about covered, we're going to add our rainbow sprinkles, and then I'm going to save just a little bit to put on the top after we have it turned into our pan. So once our marshmallows are pretty much, completely covered here, we don't want to continue to stir so they melt. I want to kind of keep them whole, We're going to pour these into 2 8-inch square pans, okay? And then, just kind of spread it out a little bit there. Looks good. I think we're good there. Oh, look at all this yummy goodness. Get that down in there. So anyway, we have this down in our pan, ready to go. And now we're just going to sprinkle with the remaining rainbow sprinkles. Alrighty. And now we just have to let her chill. And we can do that right in the fridge until it sets up and is nice and solid so we can cut it. And that'll take about a half hour to an hour, okay? Okay. And, ooh, there we go. And you know what? I cut them up in a couple different sizes here to show you, too. They're nice and chilled. They were in the fridge for about an hour. Look at those. Look at these yummy, yummy morsels of goodness. And that was just like a regular square there. And then I thought, bars. Bars look really good. They look good. Bars, and then even these little snack size pieces. These would be great in a cellophane bag. That's, I think, what we're going to do for our platter. We're going to do the needle ones and put them in a cellophane bag. I think that'll be great. Oh, yes, but there it is, y'all. Oh, yes, our peanut butter butterscotch confetti square. Oh my goodness. The cleanup, right? You know what? While we're here in the kitchen, I have one more recipe for you. I mean, since we have some chai sugar cookies going in our platter, I think we should make up some chai sugar, y'all. Oh, yes, this is so great. Chai sugar, we're going to make a little bit of that to have right on our cookie platter as well. And it can be used in your favorite beverage. It can be used in baking. It is wonderful. If you ever had cinnamon toast, oh yeah. have some chai sugar toast and let me know what you think, okay? So it's super easy to do, and this recipe makes a big batch, plenty to make little bags up to give people on your Christmas list. So in our bowl here, we have 4 cups of regular sugar, we have 4 teaspoons of ground cardamom, and then we have 2.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and then we have 1 vanilla bean, which we had, we did the whole splitting of it lengthwise, and then we scraped those seeds out, and that's all in here right now. You know what? And all we do is whisk that up until it's all nice and combined. Okay. Oh, that looks so good. You can see the little vanilla seeds in there, and oh, it smells so good. Okay, all right. So now we have this done. And, if you're making this for yourself, you can cut this recipe in half, absolutely, if you don't want this much. I'm just making a lot because of Christmas. But if you're making this for yourself, just keep it in an airtight container of some sort, a spice jar, glass jar, even a Ziploc bag, just something airtight, and it will last, well, pretty much indefinitely, really. Now, for our purposes, we are going to be putting these in our cookie platters. So I'm going to just make little baggies up, making sure that I don't get the vanilla bean itself. That. I don't want to get that in the bag, of course. Check it out. We have our little SSAM Ziploc baggies here, which I thought would just be perfect for this, because they do have a seal. And then I did go ahead and make a label for the back of it, just like that. So I'm going to seal this up with a twist tie, and then I'm going to tuck it right into our little bag here. Oh, I think it's going to be cute. I'm going to seal her up, and there we go. A little packet of chai sugar here. Oh, very, very nice. Oh boy, you know what? Here's something that, probably haven't thought about. That's the candy cane. These days, you can walk into any drugstore or grocery store and find tons of different flavors of candy canes. I mean, kids today love the fruit-flavored ones, the Jolly Ranchers ones. There's raspberry, cotton candy flavor, any flavor under the sun. But back in the 80s, well, our choices were pretty limited. We basically had peppermint or peppermint. Oh, yes. Now, don't feel sorry for us because we loved them and still do today. This is the only kind I personally buy. And we eat them, we hang them on trees, bake with them, and we make things with them. Oh, yes, we do. And check this out. This is a vase made out of candy canes. And it's so fun and so easy to do, too. Check it out. All you need is a jar of some sort. This one that I made was using one of these sugar jars. I have a ton of them, so I thought, why not? Looks pretty good. But this is a great way to recycle jars. This is an olive jar, little hurricane jars. Well, you get what I mean there. And then, of course, you need candy canes. Spangler, of course. And, it is so simple. Here, we'll use this one. We're going to do a little recycling here. Now, we're going to put our first candy cane on our jar. So we're going to just do a little line of hot glue, just like that. And then we're going to put our first one on. And hold them on there until he sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you sticking? Yes! And then obviously, repeat, all the way around our jar. And we're just going to kind of put our glue right up against the last one there, like that. And add our next candy cane, just like this. And you can do them like some up high, some down low, or you can do them straight all the way across. That is totally up to you. All right, looky. And before you know it, you have a beautiful vase covered with candy canes. Now you could use this to, keep pens and pencils in, maybe your office. Ooh, I'm gonna take this to my desk. Or, use it to hold utensils in the kitchen. Or how about just as a vase? Oh, yes, and one last thing, we didn't have a lot of technology back in the 80s, and communication with Santa, well, that was pretty limited. Actually, it was pretty old school. In order to talk to Santa, we had to sit down with pen and paper and literally write him a letter and physically mail that letter to the North Pole, and it actually was kind of fun to do too. However, there was this phone number that you could call, and Santa would tell you stories and listen to what you wanted for Christmas.
Santa here. Call 1-900-660-6666, and I'll tell you a different Christmas story every day. But before you call, listen to old Santa. Your parents have to pay for these calls, so get their permission first. Then, when you call me at 1-900-660-6666, Merry Christmas!
Oh, I bet some parents put their kids on the naughty list for using that phone number, huh? Those bills can add up quickly. I wonder if that number still works. Well, anyway, talking about pop culture, which we could talk about all night, but we're not going to. Oh man, the 80s really made its mark. I mean, every girl wanted to be Madonna, and every boy wanted to be any member of Duran Duran. Well, especially Simon Le Bon. Oh, and the duet to end all duets. Oh yes, Bing Crosby and David Bowie and the Little Drummer Boy. Oh, when this song came out, I was like, this is it, and I still love it to this day. This unlikely pair actually recorded this song back in the 70s, but interestingly enough, it wasn't released until the 80s, and it instantly, well, if it were today, it instantly went viral. But back then, oh, it soared in the charts. In the UK, it topped at number 3, and in the US, number 1. Oh, yeah. Now, like I said, we could talk all night about pop culture, but you know what? I think I'm going to meet you back on the couch. I'm pooped. I am pooped. So come on, we'll finish talking on the couch. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's better. Oh, much better. And another thing too. Oh my gosh, there was a certain song that came out as like a single. Oh, the single. Oh, if you didn't grow up in the 80s, you don't know the joy of getting a single. Oh, I just loved them. I had tons of them. They were just a single song on a cassette that you could purchase. And that song was Do They Know It's Christmas? It's a really great song. It peaked at number 1 here in the U.S. and it was like a collaboration of so many artists. It was really epic. It was, and it raised money for a fantastic cause, fighting famine in Ethiopia. It was great. And you know what? It's still a really popular Christmas song today. So, I don't know. I could sit here all night with some interesting facts about the 80s, but I got facts about the 80s out the wazoo.
Huh?
Oh, it's nice to see you.
Hello,
Nice to see the
hello.
both of you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you joined us.
Well, it is Christmas.
Yes, it is. I was just telling everybody how we literally just scratched the surface of what makes Christmas time just plain better in the 80s.
Did you go into Mr. T in the White House?
Oh, I pity the fool who doesn't appreciate Mr. T in a Santa costume. Oh my gosh. In 1983, he was the star of The A-Team. Did you see that show?
Oh God, yeah.
Like
Like who didn't?
Rad. He was invited to the White House for Christmas, and he went and he posed for pictures with Nancy Reagan and the president too. Had dinner. Oh, it was so epic. It was awesome. And here's one for you. This is something I make you do every year. How about all those campy 80s horror Christmas movies?
Oh, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, yeah. Well, for me, it's not Christmas until we watch at least one of them.
Yeah, sure.
That's not too bad.
No.
But how about It's a Wonderful Life? Now, that debuted in 1983, where you could see it, actually see it in a theater.
Mhm.
Did you like that movie?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's still very true today.
Yes, right.
All of it.
So, how about you? What era do you identify with, especially during the holidays? Are you a child of the 60s, the 70s? How about the 90s? What kind of food? What did you want from Santa?
Oh, was it Christmases of long ago when you were a kid? Was it your first Christmas after you had a family of
Oh,
your
yes.
own? What one sticks out in your memory, your decade?
Definitely. We want to know. So definitely, comment below. All right, we're not gonna keep you any longer, okay? So definitely hit that subscribe button, okay? And the notification bell so you know when we have a new video out.
We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all our contact info and whatnot is below.
Absolutely, it is. Thank you again for spending your time with us. I had a wonderful time tonight revisiting the 80s with you, and I hope you did too. So thank you again for watching, and happy Christmas Eve. And Merry Christmas to you! See you next time.
Bye.
Ciao, everybody.